The Egyptian military and riot police are moving into Tahrir Square with helicopters and armoured vehicles. That's as thousands of supporters of the ousted president, Mohammed Morsi, gather in the square and clashes with his opponents break out elsewhere in the capital. Morsi is now under investigation over allegedly siding with Hamas to attack Egypt's military facilities during the 2011 revolution. The army has now given his Muslim Brotherhood party until Saturday to join the interim government's reconciliation plan and stop inciting violence. Artie's Belcher reports now from Cairo.
What these charges stem from is from when Mohammed Morsi was in detention in Wadi Natrun prison during the 18-day uprising in 2011. He was widely seen at that point to be a political prisoner, as of course the Muslim Brotherhood were very much against Mubarak. He broke free from prison during these mass prison breaks, and what the charges here are saying is that he collaborated with Hamas to actually break out of prison, to kill police officers and also soldiers, including possibly kidnapping officers, as well as possibly burning down prisons. And these are very heavy charges and could see him face a considerable jail time. Many people here are saying, or some people here are saying, this could be a political action from the military to basically ensure that Mohammed Morsi never comes back into office. What is going to happen, however, is that this kind of accusation levelled against the ousted leader will do nothing to stop the tense atmosphere here, and will really just rile up his supporters. Already hundreds have gathered here on Tahrir Square in support of the military after Abdel Fattah al-Sisi, who is the head of the army, called for people to come down to the streets against terrorism, he called it. Now, we're also going to see mass protests in support of the military across the capital and across the country today. But meanwhile, we still have a sit-in in support of the ousted leader, Mohammed Morsi, just across the capital here in Rabaa Dawiya Mosque, and also to my right across the Nile at Cairo University. Now, their leaders are saying they must come down to the streets to defend Morsi, who is the legitimate president, and he must be reinstated. With this new news of the detention of Morsi, we expect tensions to be extremely high. The military have given the Muslim Brotherhood 48 hours to get involved in the political roadmap. They didn't outline what would happen after that 48 hours, which is due to finish on Saturday. Many fear that we will see further violence that we've already had, here in the capital, when 51 people were killed inside this pro-Morsi sit-in, a few weeks ago. So really, what we're feeling right now here is a lot of tense atmosphere here, as people are worried that these rival protest groups may clash, or that security forces might crack down on those in support of Mohammed Morsi.
And let's discuss the situation in Egypt with Muslim Brotherhood spokesperson Mona Al Qazzaz live. Ms. Mona Al Qazzaz, welcome to RT. It's great to see you here. What do you make of the allegations against President Morsi? How strong is the case against him?
The allegations are very clearly politically motivated. President Morsi has been kidnapped for 3 weeks now. No one knows why and where and who is kidnapping him. Obviously, it's in violation of his human rights. And then after detaining him for 3 weeks, they fabricate allegations against him. And it's a very clear job done by the prosecutor, who was actually initially appointed by Mubarak. What we're seeing actually now is he is the president of the country, and Egypt is essential for the peace process in the Middle East. So Egypt has been playing a mediatory role between the different Palestinian parties, between Palestine and Israel, between the different players in the political scene in the Middle East. So we find those allegations actually amusing and politically obviously motivated, in violation of all human rights and violations of everyone's human rights.
And is your party going to adhere to the army's request to sit down for talks within about 48 hours or so?
The army should not be interfering in politics. What we're seeing now is an authoritarian entrance of the army. People are dominating the political scene using the power of bullets and tanks. And the failed opposition, who failed to enter the political scene using the ballot boxes, they came leading the scene on the back of the tanks. What we're seeing now is that the military is controlling the political scene, which is back to the military rule. In 2011, when the Egyptian revolution, which I personally participated in, we wanted civilian rule, and President Morsi is the first elected civilian leader for Egypt. Egypt in the modern history. And we don't want to go back to military telling us what to do and what not to do, because the military in the political scene actually causes an imbalance. And this is not what we should be seeing in 2013. Military taking power by force, using the force of the tanks. And obviously what we're seeing as well as violation of human rights that started less than an hour after the coup was orchestrated by the military junta in power now in Egypt.
Yes, and also
in human rights, as in arbitrary detentions. We're seeing detentions of the political leaders, freezing of assets, shutting of TV channels, and detention of journalists.
Yeah, and also your party, I mean, the Muslim Brotherhood Party, has dubbed the Defence Ministry chief's call for rallies, quote, a call to civil war. However, the general specifically said he wasn't demanding for violence, he wasn't called for violence. What danger do you see in such rallies there?
What we're seeing on the streets of Egypt for over 30 days now, people have been protesting in a peaceful way. Hundreds of thousands and millions of Egyptians have been protesting, demanding their democracy back and their democratic choices back. What we're seeing actually is that the junta leader, or General Sisi, came out in a way that he was asking for a mandate to actually create for violence. Why would someone ask for a mandate to combat terrorism? You don't ask for a mandate, this is your duty. So the mandate he's actually asking for is actually a mandate to commit crimes, heinous crimes, like the one we've seen in front of the Republican Guards. We've seen also crimes against women. They specifically target women in the peaceful demonstrations in Egypt, which is obviously it's a very, very clear downfall in Egypt, in the democratic process, the Egypt we've been dreaming for, the biggest democracy in the Middle East.
All right, Muslim Brotherhood spokesperson Mona Al Qazzaz, thank you very much indeed for sharing your views.